Now let's dive deep into this LGBTQ story for today. I'm Rex Rogosh, and let's queer up trans rights. Libs of TikTok mistakenly makes a trans Army officer's video go viral. A transgender Army Reserve officer in Kentucky is speaking out, loud and proud, after a TikTok video she made for Trans Day of Visibility went viral and sparked controversy. Captain Christina Winters, a public affairs officer with over 16 years of service, posted this video on March 31st while in uniform. In it, she shares a message of love and encouragement for trans Americans and slams the Trump administration's efforts to ban transgender people from the military.
Take one. My name is Christina Winters, and I am a captain in the Army Reserve. And I want you to know that you are seen, you are loved, you're appreciated. I want you to know not to give up. I want you to notice all the people in this video that are not only proud to be who they are, but they celebrate it. Now, the current administration wants us to not be visible. They want us to be invisible. They want to remove us from society. They want to ensure that we are disenfranchised, that we no longer have a voice, we no longer have the rights to even enter any space that is safe. They want to remove us from our homes. They want to remove us from our jobs. And it is disheartening times right now. And I know how easy it is to want to give up. I know the struggle. But at least for today, I want everybody to celebrate who they are. Don't hide yourselves. And be proud. Unknowingly so. I want you to post pictures. I want you to let everybody know your story. I want everybody to see who you are. And for everybody to understand that we will not be a race. We are here, and we're here to stay.
The video initially had a modest reach on TikTok with just 1,200 views, but was quickly targeted by anti-LGBTQ account Libs of TikTok. Their post accusing Winters of encouraging trans people to be annoyingly proud racked up more than 1.2 million views. The U.S. Army Reserve confirmed they are taking appropriate actions, noting that the soldiers are barred from wearing uniforms in unofficial videos. But Winters says she wasn't on duty and wore the uniform on purpose. Winters says she's received pressure to take the video down, but stands by her choice. The video arrives amid legal chaos following Trump's executive order banning trans military members. Although 2 federal courts have blocked the policy, Winters believes the military is still moving forward with it. She referenced the suicide of a fellow trans service member and said her message was meant to bring hope. For Winters, it's personal. She said, quote, "I've deployed to Kosovo and Iraq. I've served with integrity. To be told none of that matters because I'm trans is devastating," end quote. Let's put aside the trans part right now. Let's put aside that. Can you imagine being in a career for 16 years and somebody comes to you and goes, "You're now fired because your eyes are brown"? Because that's basically what this is. I have been around military. I have dated military. I was in a long-term relationship with a military personnel during Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And to go to work every day and give your life, because that's what the military is doing. It is a job, you're getting paid, but you're giving your life to the service to then be told, okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Nothing you did matters anymore.
Yeah.
Is unfathomable to me. So just think about that. If you want to put aside gay, trans, whatever, imagine going to work tomorrow and somebody telling you, you can't come to work because your eyes are brown.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Jason, from your seat, I'm really interested in what you've got to say. I mean, you come from a family of veterans, I believe that people who serve in the military are a special breed. You folks are conditioned and disciplined to love your country and to always finish your mission. That is the goal, no matter what, under any and all circumstances, right? Then you're told that a country that you've dedicated your life and your world to is not looking at you as a person anymore, misgendering you, dead naming you, and saying for you to get the hell out of the military. How does that all wash over you?
So this particular situation is super hard for me. I served under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And it was traumatic. I mean, I'm 22 years now, having served, retired out, and it still affects me. Like, I literally have PTSD from this exact situation, serving under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And it's one of those where when I was able to be my true and authentic self after service, after retirement, I'll be damned if anybody puts me back in the closet. Mm-hmm. I mean, good luck. And that freedom that I felt was in comparison to the freedom when I was in Afghanistan fighting for everybody else's freedom. It's parallels. And the fact that I can't be, or at least now, Winters can't be her true and authentic self while she fought and is fighting and every day puts on that uniform when she's on orders to fight for those same freedoms that she wants to express, it is extremely disheartening and infuriating to a degree. I understand the military stance on not wearing your uniform in these type of social media, and yes, denigrating the government as your commander-in-chief and the hierarchy and the pomp and circumstance. I get it. But to be silenced for who you are, knowing all the sacrifices that you do to put on that uniform, it's extremely conflicting, and it hurts to the core to even watch another service member have to go back decades.
Yeah, and it breaks my heart. And she refers to a colleague committing suicide because of it, you know. And we don't even bounce when we hear that, because it's becoming normal, you know. It's too much. How much is too much? You know what I mean? You're one of the strongest humans in the world. You are a military person, all right? You're trained to be strong. You're trained to not let emotions get in the way, but you're also not allowing the person to be who they are.
Yeah, but it's a slap in the face of every, let's face it, non-white male, because everybody's getting targeted in the military. Women, men of color, women of color, trans, except white men.
Yeah.
I mean, Pete Hegseth gets to be the secretary. I mean, and you know, while this is all happening, Donald Trump is planning to have a military parade to celebrate his birthday. A guy that never served in the military.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how would you feel? This is so insulting to so many people.
So many people. You know, at Arlington Cemetery, they erased all the black folks and all the women from there. How do you do that? Colin Powell, okay? You just literally erased his name from there. How do you do that with a straight face? Yet you still want us to fight for you.
Right.
And most military people, if they were asked, they'd go back and fight again.
100%. The trauma in the military over Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and now situations like this that are still happening. You know, my role was a 5RO, so I was a chaplain assistant. I was a religious affairs airman. And one of our primary duties were to do crisis intervention, crisis counseling. And I can't tell you how many people came into my office, had a crisis moment, suicide intervention, and then 2 days later, they just could not deal with it anymore and committed suicide. Like, I can literally write out names that every year I remember, and just never again. Like, when does it stop?
Yeah.
And now in the age of social media, where things go viral in seconds, the psychological trauma that comes with that, to not just the person that they're directly affecting, but everybody else who's seeing it, who's in that situation, but doesn't know how to react to it or has not come out to it yet. It's a trickle effect, and this is just a start. I mean, it is
just a start. And if there's any highlight of this, I give huge kudos to Winters for being who she is, for being her true authentic self, and for telling people to be joyful. Post your stories, you know, make them sick of how happy we are. Right? I love that. And that's exactly, that's something that's a point to take away. When we're watching the news and we're seeing what is Trump throwing at us this week, that's what we need to think about, right? No matter what, shine bright, shine your light, because we've got to. Look, Winters is doing it. Why can't we? Why shouldn't we? We need to.
Annoyingly proud.
Annoyingly proud. I love that. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.